the training session. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Treasurer training. This is for the Club Officers training that is usually conducted by District 20 Toastmasters on twice a year. And this is the makeup session for those who could not join the first training or have, let's say, dual roles in other clubs. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Toastmaster Maram Al-Arari. I'm a member from the Young Adult Toastmasters Club, and I have occupied several training or XCOM roles, such as President, Vice President Education, Vice President Membership, Treasurer, and Sergeant at Arms. Of course, the most common one is the Vice President of Public Relations. It is my pleasure to be your training for this session, and this is actually my third time being Treasurer, and I love the role so much because to me, I think it is very easy. And let us see how we can tackle this role head on for the rest of the term. So first of all, our training session will evolve around 3 main points, which is what is the treasurer role, what are our responsibilities as treasurer, and what resources do we have so that we can be able to fulfill our role to the best of our abilities. So we will identify our roles as treasurer for Toastmasters. We will know how to fulfill our responsibilities, and we will find the resources that will help us in our tasks and responsibilities. So I would like to actually ask you guys, what is the treasurer role? I would like to ask you for your participation. You tell me, what do you do? What does a treasurer usually do?
To control the financial status in our Toastmaster Club.
Correct. That is right. What else? Any other answers?
The membership responsibility to the Toastmaster International to pay the fees and other things.
Excellent. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. What else? Do we have something else? Anything else? So you said to maintain the finances of the club and to pay the Toastmasters membership fees in the Toastmasters International website. All right. We will now find out what other responsibilities and roles do we have as the treasurer. So we have actually responsibilities in the club, or whether before or during the club meetings. We have responsibilities and roles outside the Toastmasters clubs, as well as in the executive committee. And we will tackle each one one by one. So before the club meeting, we actually have to prepare a financial report. What does a financial report mean? It means how much do we have in cash in hand? What is the expected expenditure? Are we in a surplus? A surplus means, do I have an extra funds that will last me to the rest of the term, or am I falling short because I have more expenditures than the income? So I have to prepare a quick financial report saying, okay, we have this much cash in hand, we have this much new members, we have collected from so-and-so or from this number of members, and we're expecting to collect from so-and-so members, and hopefully we can end up with this much at the end of the term. This is a very short financial report that you can prepare, but of course there are Excel sheets that I was going to prepare for. I'm going to send to you in a bit. Now, during the club meeting, you have to collect the membership dues as well, because it's either during the club meeting, or you can actually have, for those who have, for example, online payment applications such as Benefit Pay or any other forms of online transfer, you can actually transfer the membership online. And during the business session of the regular meeting, you can actually report on what sort of roles, or basically what kept you busy before the meeting, let's say. So have you been preparing the budget? Have you been paying to Toastmasters International? Do we have a surplus? Do we have any concerns? Do we need more members? So and so. Now, for the outside meeting responsibilities, we have to prepare a budget. A lot of people they underestimate the importance of having a budget. Having a budget will actually help you be on track, whether you are expected to be at loss or at loss, or you're going to expect a surplus, which means an extra fund that will shift to the next term. With the budget, you will be able to find out whether you are expecting to have more members or you will lose members, for example, during the renewal period. What are your expected expenditures, meeting venues, installation, for example, snacks or refreshments during each meeting. Each of these things need to be counted for. And with that, you will have to know what are the cash income and what are your expenditures and how much you are expected to have at the end of the term. This is called the budget. To understand this budget or to have a budget will actually help you assess the VPM role, saying that we need more members. It will assist you, for example, in looking for cheaper options for a venue if you need be. It will assist you in looking for example, a deals, some sort of deals or like offers for example, buffets or snacks or all of these things you will have to put into consideration only after you have your budget. Now, provide a bank with a bank signatory card for those who actually have a, let's say, an official registered account for their membership dues. You have to provide the bank or like settle all the official documents with the bank if you need be. You need to collect and pay the dues. Submit new member applications. Well, this is actually hand in hand with the vice president of membership. So, for example, the VPM will have the new members form. They can submit it in the Toastmasters International, or you can have it or do it from A to Z. Once you register the new member, you can pay for the new member. Issue checks for clubs expenses. Again, if you have an official bank account, you can do that. Keep financial records. You have to keep exact track of what is going in and what is going out. For me, I have everything online, for example. So I have let's say, the bank statements with me, and I can see what I paid for example, the venue, or what kind of what kind of fees have been entered into the bank account for the club. So it's as easily to I can easily record it. Otherwise, if you're doing or handling with cash like cash in hand, you will have to have exact record of what are the receipts that you are handling. What did you spend? What is the incoming fees, and so on. And of course, they present the financial report. Again, it's a summary of what has been coming in and what has been going out, and where the money spent. Because at the end of the day, we are a non-profit organization, right? So we have to be sure that we manage this cash very well. If we have, for example, a surplus, let's say we have what can I say? Like, let's say $500, surplus. The more cash we can save, the more surplus I'm going to have, the more, let's say, activities or let's say events I can sponsor the club for, because at the end of the day, this is the members' cash, right? So let's say we are doing an outing, we can sponsor this outing. Let's say that we can go to the movies, we can partially pay for the movies. If you want to go do a group event or a group outing, the club can get back to the club if we have, or the members, if we have a good surplus. But if we don't have a good surplus, if we are expected to go into the minus part, we have to revise our expenses and reduce them. With the budget, with the keeping the records, you'll be able to have a detailed financial report so that you know what you're doing or what you're handling. And again, handling accounts could be tedious a little bit. So it is always advisable to have someone else that audits the records with you. So you can cross-check the receipts, They can cross-check the expenditures, what came in, what came out. Your financial report, is it accurate? Is it missing something? Is something let's say additional? All of that has to be audited. Of course, as a part of the executive committee member, you are also obliged to attend the, let's say, monthly executive meetings. So each month, the ExCom does a meeting where you actually have to discuss whatever you have been doing, if there are any concerns. And for clubs with a lot of members, I would say, not much concerns, but with clubs that have, let's say, 20 members or less than 20 members, I'm pretty sure the treasurer is under a lot of stress, because how are we going to generate the funds? We need to pay for the venue, so and so. So all of these things have to be taken into consideration. And you will only be able to voice out your concerns in the executive meeting, because you don't have to report everything during the regular meeting, but at least in the executive committee meeting, you are a team here, you need help. So if you are struggling, if you have any concerns, please make sure to report them very accurately during the executive committee members. Recouncil deposits, expenditure, and cash on hand. Again, you can always make sure that the receipts are okay. You can keep a copy of the receipts so that when the auditor, or if you have an audit committee, they can go back to the receipts and so. Again, from my personal experience, I always make sure to have receipts for the membership dues. If there are any further expenditures, I always issue receipts. If I'm paying for the venue, I ask the venue to give me a copy of the receipt so that I know for this meeting, I have paid this much. And everything, I keep it in a Google Drive. We have a Gmail that is dedicated to the club. So with the Gmail comes the Google Drive. And in the Google Drive, I have a special folder that I keep my executive committee reports. I keep my receipts, and I keep all the receipts that I issue, and I keep the receipts that I receive from the members, or for example, for the venue. So always make sure to have a copy, so that in case if you have to go back, you have all the resources or the material. Again, if you're a registered club with the government and with the banks, you have to pay the government tax or obey the government tax regulations. Receive the financial correspondence, as I said. If anybody needs or paid, for example, for someone and they need to be reimbursed, you can always make sure to communicate with the members and tell them to give you receipts or provide you with the receipts so that you can keep a copy of that and reflect it in your budget or in your financial reports. And of course, usually for every 6 months, or at the end, before the end of the term, there is something called an audit committee, where 2 or 3 members gather and they review all the expenditure and the finances that happened during the term, and make sure that everything is actually correct, and what is reflected in the financial report is actually equal to the cash in hand. Now, for the executive committee, again, you are an ExCom member, and your presence is very important, because without you, without your concerns, without your reports, the members or the executive committee will not know what is the club struggling with. Your presence is very important, because you're handling the membership dues, you're handling the venue dues, you're handling the installation expenses, you're handling the refreshments, and all of these things are actually need the presence of the treasurer. So make sure to always attend the executive committee. And again, you have to prepare a budget saying that, okay, I'm expected to receive this much, and I'm expected to spend this much. What is the amount of money that I am, going to end up my term with? Is it good, or is it, do I need to revise it or not? Do I need to revise my expenses or not? So all of these things will be very clear in your budget. Present a financial report during the executive committee. Again, you will have everything that is ready before the meeting. You'll just have to present it and voice out your concerns if you have any. And you can submit the club for the the audits, basically. You can have the auditors from within the ExCom members, or let us say if the club has accountants, you can always make sure to have them with your have them on your audit committee so that they can help you with the revision and the audits. Again, you have to work with the club on the club success plan, because the club cannot be successful for the reasons that I just mentioned, right? So I just want to ask you now, so far, like we are in August and we have started the term in July. I want to know, what have you been doing? What have been, how have you been keeping busy? Am I audible? Yes,
We
go
have to
ahead.
inform, yeah, we have to inform members to give money for coming future registration.
Yes, you're right. We are actually coming on or closing in September dues. So I'm assuming that you have been chasing the members to pay their membership dues, right?
Yeah.
All right. What else have you been keeping busy with?
Yeah, basically we're trying to get the renewals done so that they avail the discount that was there if had they renewed, before the end of July.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing. The other one, like earlier, what was brought out, which was managing the club money and then taking the handovers, whatever is the excess funds that was there, keeping track of that. And yeah, just seeing overall, what I did was just see how the last couple of years has been in terms of number of members and the amount of cash that was there. So yeah, just trying to keep a track of that and trying to prepare a report just to highlight whether things are great or things are not so great.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what has been from a treasurer point of view for me, at least.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roshan, for your feedback. Can I hear from the rest? What have you been doing for the past 1.5, or let's say 2 months, almost 2 months? Have you attended any ExCom meetings? What have you been doing? Can I hear from Riti or Ali Hussein?
Yes. I think beside what other Toastmasters have said, we have been busy also in collecting money and booking our venues.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the main thing. We are actually, let's say a beginner club, and we have many challenges actually now in terms of the number of members. So that's it.
How many members does your club have?
I think 9 members.
9 members. And have you been considering special membership programs like Speechcraft or something so that you can increase more members?
Yes. It has been addressed now. We'll see how things are going on.
Okay, so you can actually take a part in this role. So let's say if you're handling, or if you're doing an open house, or if you're doing a Speechcraft program, so you can look for example, cheap venues that you can host these events in. You can check what are the possible expenditures that you're going to expend on these, for example, materials, certificates, and all of these things. And you have to also work with the VP membership in order to make sure that the amount that is spent is not too much, but at the same time, it gives the club back maximum value with attracting more guests and converting them into members. I wish you all the best, Toastmaster Ali. All right, so I think we can move forward. Before I can do that, I would like to share with you the files that I have on my hand so that you can utilize them. So first of all, I have this District 20 sample club budget and cash flow. This is a file that has been given to me along with this presentation, and you can have a look at it and download it, let's say. And I will personally share with you the file that I'm working with. And inshallah, when the time permits, I will explain on both. If you wish to use any of them, we can do that. Right. So now, how to fulfill the treasurer responsibilities? We have the how, when, who, and what. So you have to have a clear plan of what you're going to do. Now you know what are your responsibilities, what you have to do, whether before the meeting, during the meeting, or the executive committee meeting, or outside the club. But now you have to have an action plan. So what is your action plan? How are you going to fulfill these responsibilities? Again, you have the resources that I just sent you. One of the resources that I just sent you, which is the Excel sheet that will help you in the financial report, for example. It will help you in preparing the budget if you need be. When will each action be completed? Well, again, with the membership collection, you have to make sure that all the collections have been completed before the end of September, because you will have to renew. And the same thing for March renewals. It has to be collected before February. Personally, I start at the beginning of the term. So, for example, I know that the September renewals are going to be at the end of September, right? So I start from July. I communicate with the members during the club meeting. I'm telling them that, okay, we are approaching September renewals, so please make sure to pay your membership dues. If you want to know the exact membership that, if you want to know the exact dues that you need to pay, please approach me personally. Those who pay on the spot, there are those who pay after 1 or 2 days, and whatever is pending, I just keep sending them, personal messages, reminding them, when are you going to pay? Are you expected to pay anytime soon? And so forth. The same thing with the March renewals. Sometimes, as you know, the district posts certain awards for achieving, renewals before a certain period of time or before a certain date. So you know your members very well, right? So what I actually do is I take confirmations from the members who are not able to pay on time, if that makes sense. For example, some people are waiting for the salary to come, and not everybody receives the salary on time or on the same exact day, let us say. Therefore, I ask confirmations from the members saying that, okay, are you going to continue your membership? Are you going to pay fully? I take a confirmation from them, and based on this confirmation, I can pay from the club's budget ahead of time. Once the time that they have given to me is, for example, I approach them saying, okay, you have you have to pay for the membership dues and so forth and so forth. But here you have a slight risk, because not every member, let's say, you can't depend on some of the members to actually pay the dues. There could be some people that have a special situation that they have to leave town, or they have to leave Toastmasters, either they have to leave the country, or they decided to get into a new job or a study and so on. So therefore, for us, at least in my club, when we get the confirmations from the members, it's like a promise, let us say, that whether you'll be able to pay the amount of the membership, if you're not going to be able to, even after you have given me your confirmation, they are obliged to give you the amount, because based on you, it's like the club has paid for their membership. So they have to kind of return the money for you, if that makes sense. This is what I personally do. And so far it has been going good for the past, 3 to 4 years. We have been doing the same thing. So we look at the awards that are, handed to us by the district, and we see what are the cutoff dates and ask the members. And frankly, I approach the members that are more likely to stay in the club. For those who are a little bit flaky, or I'm not sure if they're going to actually continue or not, I ask them for confirmation, but I do ask them, I do tell them that if you give me your confirmation now, it means the club is going to pay for you. Please make sure that whatever happens, you'll have to pay the club back. And once they understand that, I go ahead and renew their membership on the Toastmasters website. By that, I have fulfilled the award criteria. And of course, at the end of the day, the members actually pay back whatever they have to pay. Now, who is available to help you? Of course, your ExCom committee members, if you have subcommittee members, and of course the members, because without them, you will not be able to get anything in the bank account of the club. Now, what are the materials and resources that you can use? There's the leadership handbook that you can go through. There is this particular training. This is one of the resources as well. You have to meet with the outgoing executive committee members. Of course, there has to be a proper handover. There has to be clear documents that are with you. What sort of layout the previous treasurer used to do or used to handle. Is it okay? Are you comfortable with it? Do you need to change anything? Would you like to take any of the samples that I have posted in the chat? It's completely up to you. Whatever makes you comfortable, whatever helps you keep your, let's say, financial report very organized and clear. So you have to go. You have to meet the outgoing treasurer again. You have to meet with the current executive committee, and this has to be done on monthly basis. If it's not done on monthly basis on your account, or if you're in your club, you have to do that. You have to urge the executive committee to meet every month at least once. Okay. Now review the policies and protocol that are set by Toastmasters International, and again, prepare the budget. You have to review the records, the financial reports, and the audits committee report. So all of these reports that you have in hand, you have to review them and make sure that everything is correct. And again, if you have a bank account, you have to make sure that everything is settled with the bank, with the official documents and so. And keep a record keeping system, which I just explained to you. So you have an Excel sheet, you have all the receipts and everything else. You have, for example, on a Google Drive, or at least somewhere on your laptop. Preferably on Google, because if anything happens, God forbid, to your laptop or your computer, at least you have an online backup. You have an online backup for all the documents. I believe we have reached the end of the presentation, but I would like to quickly go through the documents that I have shared with you. So just give me a moment to change the share screen. And I have a confirmation that you can see the new the new Excel sheets. All right, perfect. Thank you. So this is a sample budget that has been shared from the district. So you have the breakdown on a monthly basis from July 2023 till June 2024. You have the starting budget of every term, of every month. And you can change the
denomination.
Yes, you can change the currency.
Currency.
Yeah, you can change the currency. I will show you in a bit, but this is the layout. So you mentioned every month you're starting with so-and-so amounts, whether you have a new member registration, how much you are taking from this new member registration, how much are the TI fees, how much are the club fees, and any other revenues. So it could be a donation from a member, who knows. Now here, the green part is actually the income or the revenue, or whatever is coming in the account. Now this part is the expenditure, how much you're expected to spend during the single month. If you have, you know, installation, if you have refreshments, if you have venue fees, so on. So you'll have to put in the expenditures here. So let us assume we take a small figure. So let us say that the new member registration is $50, for example. Okay, the TI fees, hang on a second. Let's have it as $100. The TI fees is $60 if I'm not mistaken. Now, so the club fees means it is what? It should be $40. No, that's not how that works. Okay, never mind. Keep it as 0. So now you're starting with 500 and you have increased to 160. So the total you have here as $660. Now, what are the expected expenditures? You're going to say, I'm going to spend $60 on the TI membership. The venue charges, for example, could be $40, let us say. If you have any equipment that you're renting or so, are your executive committee meetings physical or online? For us, it's online because we usually meet at a coffee shop if you want to meet physical, but we usually have it online to make it faster and easier to communicate. Are you buying any pins or stationery from Toastmasters International? You can put the expenditures here. Any special events, like I said, dinner, you know, activities, so on and so forth. And then it will show you what is your monthly expenditures and how much you have remaining. And you can continue that for the rest of the year. This is one file or one budget you can, let's say, use. For the other file, which is the one that I shared with you called Treasurer XCOM Report, which looks like this. This is my personal file. Before I moved and to explain this one, can I just confirm that you have received the link for the attendance, because I was told that it should be broadcasted?
Saw the pop-up, but couldn't click on it.
Oh, okay. Just give me a moment then. Right. So once they get back to me, I will post the registration link. Just give me some time. Now, can you confirm that you can see the Excel sheets, the new Excel sheets?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So now this is the file that I'm working on. You can put in the club name here, the club number, and this is the payment status. I put the names of the members over here. I put the status if there are any special cases. For example, there are members that are willing to pay for the whole term. There are members who are willing to pay for 6 months, and there are members willing to pay or can only pay, for example, on monthly basis. So I put in the status here, let's say monthly basis, you know, biannually or annually. And what is the amount that they have to pay, whether it is the full amount of Toastmasters, the full amount of your club's amounts or fees, or it could be reduced because they're joining, for example, midterm, or if they are a new member, so you have to account for the $20 registration fees and so on. And here I just keep a track whether they have paid for July, August, September, blah blah blah. So I keep usually, for example, let me just do this and say Maram Al Aradi. Okay, so this is annually, and I pay 90. This is in my own currency, 90 BD. All right, so I have paid for 6 months. So I totally paid here $45, and the balance is 45 dinars, and the balance is 45 dinars. Okay, now here I have made a small calculator for the Toastmasters International fees in dollars. So this means this member is renewing for 6 months. And again, for the March renewals. This is for the September renewals. This is for the March renewals. So these are in dinars. Are they in dinars? Yes, they are in dinars. They are in my own currency, but you can also make a one that is in dollars or in your own currency. If there's a new member, which means there's an additional $20 extra, so you can keep here as one, and it will automatically change to accommodate the $20 additional. And this is the total amount expected to pay to Toastmasters International at the end of the renewal period. Here, I have the expected expenditures and the expected budget, meaning, collections. So I'm expected to spend this much on venue fees. I'm expected to spend this much on the membership renewals for September and March. If I have any expenditures on installation or any other miscellaneous expenditures, here I have the cash in hand, and I have the expected collections, which is basically the paid amount or the remaining amount to be paid by the members. Here in the sheet that is at the bottom, which is the breakdown, I put in each and every record that I have received. So, for example, on 25 August 2023, okay, this is the receipt number. So 250, for example, I have received membership fees from Ram. Okay, and I have received 45 dinars. Let's say I usually don't keep a reference number for the meeting venue, but this is, for example, meeting venue expenditures. For example, meeting 300. I keep here 30. Now at the bottom you'll have a calculator, and it will show you what is the total remaining amount. I usually start with the opening balance. So whatever cash I had from the previous term, I start with it. So let me just do this. So opening balance, let's say, 200. So by the end, I know that I should have in my hand 250, plus or minus. I have received the attendance. Just give me a second to navigate through this. Here we go, chat. Please make sure to register your attendance. All right, so this is the file that I have. Here is a sample budget. Here is a sample budget that I have prepared. You can put in your club name here, your division, area, district if you have to. And then here the questions about your own club's details. So what is your opening balance? What is the club base members that you have or you start the term with? How much your club charges per term, so for the whole year, what is your total membership fees? And how much do you charge for the new members registration? I used to know some clubs that they handle the registration fees on their own because they can afford it, but some clubs ask the members to pay for the new registration fees, which is the $20 that I just told you about. How many meetings do you usually have? Is it 24? Is it 12? You have to mention that. And how much do you charge for the venue of the regular meeting? And if you have to convert the US rates. Here, you start with the opening balance. You start with the membership base of 20. And then here we have the net joiners. Of course, this is a expended or it can be expanded. So here it's per month. You will tell me how much you are expected to lose members. So whatever is in brackets, this is negative. So it means it's minus. And whatever is normal, it's, let's say, added new members. So by July, I am, for example, losing 2 members here, but I am gaining in August and September to October 5 new members. So this is how the breakdown goes for the membership, and it will calculate for you how much you are expected to receive and how much you're expected to spend when you're paying for the Toastmasters International website. All right. If you have any donations over here, if you have any fees for the venue, these are actually different fees that we were studying. So you can just have one, which is going to be enough. If you have any club stationery, you can mention the amount, and the quantity. If you have any area club contribution, installation ceremony, open house expenses, and so on. So here, the club term closing cash balance. This is, of course, in US dollars, and this is NBD. So for example, in the US dollars, I'm expected to end up with $3,000. So this is in the surplus. Why? Because it's not in brackets. Okay, so this is a sample budget you can adopt if you wish. If you wish to take the first file, if you wish to take this file, or if you wish to take any file that you are, working with. I just want to show you one last thing that I usually do, because basically I love everything that is online, because it's very simple. I can do it actually from the bottom, from the tip of my phone, and then it's just easily updated. So I have prepared like a PowerPoint presentation where I can issue receipts to the members, and to keep a record of the members' fees, for example. So I will just show you one sample of the receipts. Okay, so one moment. So this is what I usually do. I have a receipt. I state the number of the receipts. I state the dates. I say the name of the member who have paid and what sort of payment that has been done, whether it is membership fees, whether it is reimbursement, whether it is donation, whether it is venue expenditures, and the amounts, of course, my name and my signature. And I can just send this to the members on WhatsApp, and it's just easily done. All right. So I will just go back to the presentation and ask if you have any questions.
No, nothing from me.
So I'm assuming everything is clear.
Yeah.
The other members, do you have any questions?
Everything is clear.
Do you have any concerns you wish me to help you with? Right, I guess that's it. Thank you so much for attending, and I hope you have truly benefited from this session. It's been my pleasure to train you to the role of the treasurer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day, everyone.
You too. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.